Hello, my name is Ian and this is Thinking Out Loud. I'm generally a positive person, and if you had to assign a Winnie the Pooh character to me, it would likely be Tigger. I bounce back reasonably well and I'm sometimes accused of being a bit impulsive. But on dark days, dreary, rainy, mopey days, those days bite sometimes, don't they? Come on, let me tell you what I think. Do you have a hobby? Some of my friends say they don't, and then they show me things they've made or done in their spare time with a big smile on their face. Those are the successful hobbies. I have friends who make things from wood or metal, and I like doing that sometimes too, but I'm more a woodworker. And this lamp I made a long time ago from some scraps of wood. It's rather nice, isn't it? Some people I know make model cars or model planes. My friend David is making a full-size model of a plane in his garden. I wonder what his wife thinks about that. I even have a friend who made a real plane for a hobby. I love flying in his plane, and maybe I'll take you with me one day and meet my friend and see his plane. Hilary loves to make cards and play the piano or read a nice book. Sometimes we make a big jigsaw puzzle together. I think I may have too many hobbies. I don't have enough time for all of them, but I like woodwork projects and reading. I always seem to have several books on the go at the same time. And of course I love to take pictures. And I suppose this video series, Thinking Out Loud, is a hobby too, isn't it? But my favourite hobby is just anything to do with trains. I love to ride trains or just sit and watch them go by. I often visit railways or tramways to see how they operate. I have a huge model railway in my basement. Here in America they would say railroad, but this is a very English model, so it's a railway. Come on, let's go and have a look. When I need to think and be alone, or I'm feeling sad, I sometimes come here to the train room and think about things. My model train's a great hobby. It's one of those projects that is never finished and there's always something being worked on. In my case it's true, there's more than one something, but that's part of the fun. I can try out different ways to do things, link it all up to a computer, or build something that could never be that way in real life, or just watch the trains go by, assuming I can get them to work. Being a thinker, I can't just build a model train. It has to be more than that. So most of the model is to do with memories from a bygone era that mostly represents my growing up. Hilary says I'm like one of Peter Pan's lost boys and will never grow up, and she's probably right. I'm just about old enough to remember steam engines in the south of England, and later travelled every day to school on a train. So when it comes to choosing what to build, it's usually loosely focused on things I remember from back then. At one time I had an office that had trains running just feet from the window. Not much work got done when rush hour happened at that office. That was a fun place to work. That station is the basis of part of the model here too. I've intentionally built memories of people who have meant a lot to me or who have helped me along the way into the model scenes. And you've probably heard people say, count your blessings. And on gloomy days, one of the ways I do that is by playing with trains. And as I work on the details, I can recall happy memories and places from my life. Times when I've clearly seen God at work, and that just reassures me that He hasn't changed and God is still good. In the model there are all kinds of special things that most people wouldn't notice. My brother Sam is there. He's an undertaker. That's his car. The little church it's parked outside, if I could take you inside, it would have a stove in the corner, and on cold winter's nights I'd sit there as a little boy and put wax crayons on the top and watch them melt. I wonder if the building's still there. Another friend used to repair scooters and then sell them. There he is. Can you see him? His name is David. I had another special friend who used to run. That was his hobby. He would run in places I can't even walk. There he is on the hill, running, just as I remember him. Years ago, we took the boys camping. That's here too. We didn't go far. We camped in a friend's backyard. So when I see this little scene, I think of my friend Dennis and fun memories with him. My time spent marching in a military band is represented there, and a host of other things that I've either been involved with or like to remember. This signal box is close to where I grew up. I would pass this building every day on the way to school. And then there's the Kent coalfield with its many coal mines. Maybe we'll tell a story from there another day. And here's the train I used to ride on to school every day. As schoolboys, we called these short trains sardine specials because we all had to pack into the two carriages when short trains like this ran instead of the much longer ones we usually rode. By now, you're either very bored of seeing my life at 4mm to the foot, or you are no longer depressed and are happily lost in a rather quaint English model railway. I'm sure we'll be back at the railway in other episodes of Thinking Out Loud soon. There's a lot to see and plenty of stories hiding here. I look forward to telling you some of them. Today I'm sitting in my reading and thinking chair again. I think I may have to call it my talking chair because I seem to be here talking with you a lot lately, don't I? Do you have places you go to do special things like read or think? What about when you're sad or depressed? When I get depressed, I go to see the trains, and I know that there's things there to help me remember good times and good people. Psalm 143 is a very depressing psalm in a way. Verse 4 says, I'm losing all hope. I'm paralyzed with fear. And then in verse 7 it says, come quickly, Lord, and answer me, for my depression deepens. And then in verse 9, rescue me from my enemies. It's all very dark, isn't it? I'm not sure if I were feeling sad that this is a chapter that would be a good one to read. But look there in verse 5. There seems to me to be a glimmer of hope in a very dark psalm. I remember the days of old. I ponder all your great works and think about what you have done. And there in the next verse, I lift my hands to you in prayer. We talked about praying last time, didn't we? Sometimes when I'm really struggling and going through those really dark days and struggling with life in general, that's when I have to dig deep. You know, when God seems far away and you feel all alone, we all have those days, don't we? On good days, I fill my mind up with thoughts and ideas that I know will be needed. And they're needed on days where I'm depressed and gloomy. Just as with the model train, there I've put things in place too, so that when I think of them, I'm reminded of good times and good people. And I'm reminded of God. Putting things and people around you that help you remember God and how great He is and all He's done for you, as well as people that have helped you on the journey in the past. Those people sometimes are going to struggle too, and then you'll be able to help them when they're struggling. Winston Churchill was a very famous Prime Minister in England. He has his picture on the wall here behind me. He used to have days when he was very depressed. Many people in England can remember he encouraged others to keep going through some really difficult times, And he did that even when he was feeling gloomy. When you're down, what do you have to dig into? Special friends are important, aren't they? They can help us when we're struggling and need encouragement. Then, when they're going through tough times, maybe we can encourage them. That's why having a group of close friends, a net or a network, is really important. Right at the beginning of the video today, I said I was Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Which character are you? And no, you're not too old to play that game. How do you go through dark days? Do you have special friends, or a special friend you can encourage, or who can encourage you? What about hobbies? Do you have some unusual hobbies? I'd love to hear about them. And you can let me know the answers to those questions in the comments below. This has been Thinking Out Loud. I hope this video has been helpful and perhaps encouraging. And if you've enjoyed this video, click subscribe and the bell icon thingy, and you'll be reminded when the next video is ready to see. Until next time, goodbye.